and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's topic of discussion is OOPS concepts. And in this video, I will be explaining this concept in such a way that it will be easy to understand and also to remember it on a long term. Okay, so the topics and the concept that we are going to cover today are classes, object, method, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, and encapsulation. All right. So before starting, let's just understand why do we need OOPS. Okay, can we do programming without OOPS? Yes, the answer is yes, we can do programming without the OOPS concept also, but then the code will be very messy. It will be very difficult to understand the code and also to reuse it. Okay, so that is why the OOPS concept comes into picture to make our program, to make our code in a structured way, in a modular way, and easy to understand and reuse and maintain. The OOPS concept are required, and it also facilitates the quick development of your program. All right. So let's start with class. What are classes? So every time when you search about classes, you get the definition as classes are the blueprints of the object. Now, what are blueprints? So let's understand blueprint with the example of a car industry. Okay, suppose you have a car industry, and it manufacture cars in a huge amount. Okay, so do you think every time whenever there is a manufacturing of a car, it starts from the scratch? No, it doesn't start from the scratch. It maintains information in a blueprint. Okay, so all the details that are required to manufacture a car is maintained inside your blueprint. Suppose the information about your tire, the information about the engine, the information about the colors, and all the details, whatever is required, it is maintained inside a blueprint. So class are also a blueprint which maintains the information to create an object. Okay. Then what are objects? How you can define an object? So objects are the instances of class. Or what are instances? Instances are the occurrence. Okay. So based on the information that are available in the class, when you create an object, they are called as the objects. Okay. Instances or the occurrences. All right. So now we will be seeing it in a code. Okay. So here I have created one class with the name car. Okay. So whenever we define a class, we have to write a class and then class name and then the variables inside the class. So I have used variable like color, engine, number. Okay. Here you can see I have simply hard coded it. Okay. Inside a class, I have defined some variable and I have given some values to it already. Okay. And you can access it with car dot the variable name, this engine and number. You can simply get output like this with the details. Now, can we reuse it? No, as it is already hard coded, we can't reuse it. Okay, to make it reusable and to create objects on that, we have to initialize it with the parameter name. Okay, so now we have created a class with the name car and initialized it with the parameter name called as color, engine, number. Okay, and how we have initialized it? With the help of init constructor. Okay, so init constructor helps to initialize these parameters inside your class car. Now, why do we have used self? So self is used to simply tell your parameter that it belongs to this car. Okay. So how we can declare this method like this? Self.color equals to color, self.engine equals to engine, self.number equals to number. Likewise, we can declare this method. I will tell you why I'm calling it as method. Okay. Now, we are creating our objects now. So I am creating car1 as an object. Okay. How I have created one? By calling the class. In the class, I have used all this parameter and I have assigned some value. Okay. So the car car1 object has been created with this value assigned inside this class car. Okay, with the color as black, engine as petrol, number as 12. And whenever I want to call this object, I will simply write down the object name dot the method name. I will get black as an output. See, we initialized black, and whenever I call the color method, I got the black as a name. Same with the engine, same with the number. Okay, let's just see one more object. Again, I have created one more object with the class name car, and I have given the different values this time. So in color, I have given yellow. In engine, I have given CNG. In value, I have given 5. So you can see here, whenever I'm calling the object, second object, that is car2, and its color, I'm getting the correct value for it. Okay, so this was about the object. So I have created object by calling a class name and giving all the values to the methods. So make sure that the numbers of method that you have declared inside the class, that many value you should provide inside the object also. Otherwise, it will give us the failure. All right. Now we will see what are methods. Okay. So this thing, okay, the one which I was calling as a parameter here, you can see that I have defined color, engine, number inside the class, and I am calling it from the object. Okay. So the parameter that I can declare in the class and call it from the object, they are called as the methods. All right. Now there is a difference between a function and a method. Okay. So a function, I can define it anywhere inside the object also, inside the class also. And the method, I can only define it inside the car and can be called from an object. So that is the difference between a function and a method. Now here comes, okay, again I have taken an example of, okay, so this is the example of inheritance. Now we will see what are inheritance. As the name suggests, inheritance, that means some of the property from the parent is going to inherit inside a class, inside its child. Okay. Similarly, there are things like parent class and child class inside Python also. So this is the parent class. Inside the parent class, we have defined all the methods, the function, the methods we have defined. But suppose we want one more class that should contain all the properties of your parent class, then I can create a child class. And how to create a child class? By simply creating one more class and passing the parent class inside it. Okay, you can see here, class car was my parent class. Class type I have declared, and inside it I have passed the parent class. So simply this has become my child class. Okay. Now this child class will contain all the properties that are there in the parent class. So if I create, suppose I have created an object called car3, and I have called the child class. Okay, inside the child class, I have given color, I have given engine, suppose I have given 3 random values inside it. Okay, here in the car type, we have not initialized any parameter. Still, I was able to successfully pass this value inside of my child class, and I was able to call it also. So if you can see, if I create the object car3 with this child class, give this parameter, I was able to access it through this sample definition. So here you can see, I have printed and given the color, engine, and number of cars. So the color is gray, which I have passed here. and the engine type is electric, which I passed here. Okay, so likewise, this shows that a child class can inherit the property from the parent class without initializing it separately. All right, so this was about the inheritance concept in OOPS. Now we will see what is polymorphism. So by the name itself, it says poly means many and morphism means type. So many types. Whenever a function can be used separately in the separate forms, in a two or more different forms, they are called as the polymorphism. So let's just take an example of polymorphism operator. Okay. So here you can see that I have assigned 1 to number 1 variable and the 2 to num2 variable. And when I'm adding it, it has simply added my integers. So it has done its job of addition of 2 integers. Now the same operator I'm using on strings. Python in string 1, Python programming in string 2. When I'm adding using the plus operator, it has concatenated. So based on the variables, it has done its job. So the same plus operator is being used for concatenation also and to add integer also. So this is called as the polymorphism. The same function is used for multiple tasks. Let's take one more example. Suppose in the car class, I have defined a function called as sample plot. Okay, sample poly. In the child class also, I have defined a function with the name with the same function name, sample poly. Okay, and when I am creating an object car1 from the parent class, okay, and calling the sample poly, it is printing this. And when I am creating an object on the car type, that is the child class, I am getting this. I am able to print this. So the same function, which is sample poly, is able to return two different things. So this is also an example of polymorphism. All right. Now, then comes abstraction. So this abstraction is a very interesting concept. Why? Because whenever we want to create multiple class from from one single class, okay, then abstraction comes into picture. Suppose I have created a class with the name as A. Why I have passed ABC inside it is because this A class is my abstract class. Okay, so that is why I have passed ABC inside it and I have defined some function inside it. And whenever I want to create multiple class on A, I can do it because of abstraction method. Okay, so I want to reuse this function in my every different classes. I can do it with the help of abstract method. All I have to do is I have to import abstract method from ABC. So this is the inbuilt library. You can get it in the Python. Okay, and whenever I want to tell that this function belongs to my abstract method, I have to declare this abstract method. Okay, so this will understand that this is the function inside the abstract class that has to be reused in the other classes also. Okay, but why do we need it? Why do we need it? It's just simply to override our functions. Okay, so the same function I want to use in different classes, but in different ways. Then the abstract method comes into picture. Let's take one more example. All right. So suppose this is my class polygon. This is my abstract class. Okay, inside it I have passed ABC. As I have said that even whenever you want to declare any abstract class, you have to pass this ABC, okay, which has been imported from this ABC. Now, in that, I have defined a function, this move size, okay, and I have declared this abstract method. So this tells that this is the function for my abstract class. Now, I can use this particular function inside the many other classes. That is triangle. You can see I have declared the same function. In Pentagon, I have declared the same functions. Okay. And if I print it, if I call, first of all, I have created the objects for it. So R, K are the different objects that I've created. And when I've printed it, you can see it has the same function was called move sides, move sides, move sides, move sides, but it has printed the different with respect to its classes, the different it has statements. Okay, so this is what abstract is. Suppose I will give you one more example. Suppose in abstract method you have defined two functions. Okay, this is the function define example. And I have not declared or I have not used this function inside the other classes. And if I run it, this is supposed to get, okay, so I have to tell that this is the abstract method if it has to be used in other classes also. So if I run it, so it has thrown me an error saying that triangle can be object can't be created. Why? Because it has not created or it has not defined this example function inside it. So I hope you have understood the function of abstract method. Okay. Now let's jump to our next concept, which is called as encapsulation. Now the encapsulation itself, the name suggests that encapsulated. That means that wrapped. Okay, you know capsules, the medicines, it wraps the medicines inside it. So whenever you want your data to be encapsulated or should not be accessed by everyone, then encapsulation comes into picture. So by default, whenever you define any parameter, any variable, it is in the public state. Anyone can be accessed by this thing. Let's just take an example. Suppose there is a company, okay, and there are various departments inside it. Suppose sales are there, finance are there, HR are there. So do you think all their data should be accessed by each other? No, it should be kept private. If it has to be kept, if it is a private data, it has to be kept private. Okay, so there should be access modifier inside it. So access modifier tell that data can be accessed by whom and can't be accessed by whom. Okay, so for that reason, encapsulation comes into picture. So let's just take an example. So if you can see here inside the class, I have initialized name, age, and height. Okay. So we were doing it initially. We just simply, in my previous example, I have given the public example. Okay. So by default, it is public. This can be accessed. So if I print this, by creating an object from an object, if I call this name, I will be able to call. Okay. And but what if I want to I want to hide the information of height. Okay, so what I will do is I will just put double score before it. So it will tell that this is my private information, this can't be accessed. Okay, so if I try to print this, so this has thrown me an error. Why? Because I can't access this as it is supposed to be a private. Fine. Now I will not print it. And what is mean by protected? That means that it can't be easily modified. You can still see the information, but to maintain its, avoid its modification, we can avoid it by using underscore before it. And it still can be accessed, but it will be difficult to modify. So if I run this, sorry. So if I run this, you can see the information, the name information, and age here. Okay, I hope you have understood the concept, guys. If you have any questions related to it, please mention in the comment section. And if you have any questions related to the Python programming and you're not able to solve it, please do let me know in the comment section. I will try to solve it in at the earliest. Okay, and if you want any separate video related to any of this concept, please let me know. I will try to create a separate video. Thank you. Have a nice day.